Hello, welcome to Drinks with Ron. I'm Ron, and I just woke up from a nap from all the drinking I did earlier. I've been trying to wrap up all these stories about my house on Main Street in La Crosse, and the more I talk, the more shit I remember. Which means the longer I ramble on, which means the more I drink, which means Saturday afternoon nap. So here we are. My camera actually ran out of space at about the 19-minute mark, so I had to cut that episode, and now I've got to come back, which means I got to drink some more. My black and tan in the last episode was admittedly a failure, so I reassessed what is a black and tan. The original, I believe, is Guinness, which is usually nitrogen, which if you've ever seen a Guinness poured, it's usually with a nitro tap like such, and you'll notice when it comes in, the bubbles, it's not carbonation, but the bubbles go downward. That's that rich, creamy nitrogen. And I thought, it would probably separate better if I had a nitrogen drink. Fortunately, I do have a cold brew coffee on the nitrogen line. So I'm going to make a different black and tan, and I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. But then, actually, probably first, I'm going to start with this little beauty. This is a stout I just made. A lot of the beers I've been making over the last 4 years have been getting named with names. Some of them they're getting names that are very middle finger to the Trimpster. The one that I used to have on tap here was One Term Wheat. Brewed that about 6 months ago. So this one got done, and we're almost we're right at the end of the administration. And I thought, well, what can I name this? So I drew up a little picture, and I decided we'd give them a little cup of Get the Fuck Out. So this is Little Cup of Get the Fuck Out Stout, and I'm going to pour me some of that. And the beauty here is, that's a little much. But we'll get that nice nitro kick there. Let that settle in. So I went and got a classic lager to try and float this. I believe the original black and tan is it Bass? I think it's Bass. But this is good enough. So I got my sciencey bent spoon, and let's do the slow pour. Slowly, engraving, get the separation in there. You look like two different beers, even though I seem to have totally botched this one as well. So maybe the last one wasn't the problem of the science of the beers I used, as much as it is I do a real bad job. But that seems to be a running theme lately. My last few episodes and cut off by the camera, not finishing my drinks. I've just been doing a real bad job. But at least I'm doing a bad job on my hobby and not my actual job. So that's a win there. But where'd my paper go? See what I mean about me doing a bad job? I actually had to write shit down. Because there's so many stories from the Main Street house that I didn't want to forget stuff. So then I forget the notebook. There we go. Got it. But I do want to start introducing, like I said in the last episode, we're going to institute the policy of no beer left at the end of an episode. That's going to become an official thing. I've also added the Ted Jansen, Admiral Jansen portrait to the background, just a little bit. And my buddy Todd suggested as well, because I usually keep a record right here. He said, you should try and play the one that you have and then cycle them out. And I said, well, actually, that's what I do, but if you watch long enough, you know the tale of the intermittently working record player, so that's where we stand with that. But the good news is you may have actually seen the last rotation in one of the last few episodes, because that good credit, 0% interest stuff that I told you about earlier, I got me a turntable on the way. You know, so yeah, 0 interest, $10 a month. So yes, soon we'll be doing that. We'll have a record here. We'll have background music. We'll be back to normal. But oh yeah, a little bit of separation. I don't know if the light helps there. But you can kind of see I did a bad job. Let's not mince words. Okay, that's interesting. That is not a black and tan, but that's interesting. It was okay then. Well, I'm awake now, so let's get to it. One of the things I was doing in the last episode, I was doing a couple of things. I had a whole big setup going. I wanted to record this episode yesterday because, as I said, is the birthday of the Mule Rider, someone who features prominently in many of my stories. I'll just refer to him as Mule Rider from now on, you know, for the sake of protecting the anonymity and such. But, yeah, I wanted to release this on his birthday because it actually marks the 20th anniversary of his 21st birthday, which was at this apartment. And I remember, I don't want to go right there because it's a pretty good story. But what I did in the last episode was hand out some free advice. And then I was going to finish out with teaching you some lessons. And yeah, well, that's definitely stayed separated. I don't much care for that coffee, but ooh boy howdy, that's fucking interesting. Is all I can keep saying. But what I was gonna do is tell some stories of things that happened in my time at Main Street. It was an eventful year there. This was the back half of 2000, front half of 2001. So we got the 2001 New Year's, which anybody who can count knows that's the actual flip over of the 1000. There was no year zero. So for me, that was the big party. There may have been, if you're going to have a big party, you should probably have like a cigar or something for midnight. And if you're going to have a cigar, you should probably have like a Cuban, like the best there is. So we had that. But if it's a party, you may want to empty out that cigar and replace the tobacco. But I ain't telling you how to party. I'm just saying that 20 years ago is now in a safe zone where I feel like I've aged out of my past enough where I can tell these stories. And statute of limitations. Statute of limitations. The 2000 election, Bush and Gore. We watched that at that apartment. The Monday Night Miracle. I think the Jets coming back from down 1,000. We were ready to quit on that game, but we weren't ready to quit on drinking. So we kept drinking, and then the game kept coming back. It was amazing. But a lot of things happened there. I learned a lot of lessons. And I decided we'd not only learn some lessons, jump in the way back machine, but that I would give you a chance to pick your own lesson. Let me demonstrate. Here's an example. Here's how the game works. We moved into this place, Main Street, behind back alley, and then just over, there was a 24-hour donut shop, Mr. D's. I'd be lying to you if I said the location of Mr. D's didn't factor in at least a little bit into the decision to move there. They had little schedules of when everything came out fresh. We kept them on hand because about 3:30 those apple fritters come out, and oh man, it's those chocodiles, Haley. Those chocodiles. Anyway, a buddy of mine was there when they were, because clearly the donuts get old and you throw them away. Buddy of mine happened to be standing in the back alley, JD, and he must saw them throw out a bag of otherwise totally edible donuts. So he snatched and brought over literally a 30-gallon garbage bag full of donuts. So I can tell you your lessons to choose from here are free donuts are always good, or you can't eat an entire garbage bag of donuts. You can pick those two as lessons, but I'll offer you up a third one. that technically, if you steal a bag of donuts, even out of the garbage, it's now like it's evidence of your crime. So you can't just go throw the donuts back from whence they came. So I don't know. I guess the lesson there is don't do any crimes. You're welcome. But that's just an example. So let's get to it. We'll start at the top. That spring, I believe it was, had to be right after we moved in because Mule Rider was not yet 21. So him and I and another buddy of ours went out to like Holiday Foods. I don't know if that's actually was the name of a place, but we went out to get some beer. And the problem is my buddy didn't have a physical license because they physically took it from him when he physically got a DUI at like 6 a.m. So what he did have was a yellow piece of paper that showed he still had the ability to drive until the date on the yellow paper. Okay, I believe I had a license that was like expired, or I had lost mine. If you know me at all back then, it's entirely possible I had just lost it. Don't know where it is. Just don't have it no more. So it's the three of us, and we're talking, and as we walk up to the register, I'm like, oh shit, Mule Rider. When we stop, you just keep on walking, because you don't have an ID, and ours are both shady. This already looks bad. So we stop at the register with the beer. He just walks on by us. She's like, I need to see ID. We start whipping him out, and he's got his weird thing, and I've got my like expired license with a hole punched in it. And she's like, well, I need to see his too. My buddy looks at it. Who? Well, that guy there. Well, I don't know that guy. Well, yeah, he was just with you guys. Look, lady, me knowing that guy is like a drought in Babylon. And that shit just don't happen. I don't know what that means, but after a short pause, she sold us a lot of beer. So yeah, I guess the lesson you can choose from here is obfuscation works like a motherfucker, or drought in Babylon. That shit just don't happen. Take away what you want from that story. Oh man, I'm not even drunk enough to tell some of these other ones. I told you I hit the 20-year limit. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just do it. Statute of limitations. That should be a new feature. Except I have to actually look up what the statute of limitations are, I guess technically. Okay. So, shit. Where do I go? This is okay. We'll just wrap it up, okay? We'll get to the Mule Rider birthday story, and we'll call it there, because these are running on way too long anymore. So 21st birthday is January, colder than fuck. 3rd Street in La Crosse, where all the bars are. We're at the 1100 block of Main. You do the math. We're 8 blocks from downtown. It's a beautiful thing. So, oh man, that is coffee when you mix it with beer. Good gravy, Kevin. Ugh, okay. Anywho, so we go downtown, and you know how the drill is. Everybody tries to get the guy who's turning 21 absolutely shit-canned, because, as we all know, he's never drank before. And this is his first time, so we've got to really let him have it. I don't remember much for specifics. Oh, shit, I remember he started dating this weird chick, and, oh my god, I might still have it somewhere. She made him some weird bet that if he could come back with numbers from X amount of chicks, there was a thing that was... I was going to say I don't remember what it is, but let's just say, yeah, we're going to say I don't remember what the thing was. But I'm afraid I do. But let's just gloss over that. So anyway, what half of the night was actually me going around getting numbers from all these women because hey, well, it's not for me, it's for my buddy, and it's his birthday, and his girlfriend's gonna do a thing if he. So it's really it was giving away, defeated the whole purpose. She wanted him to go be like smooth guy and try to hit on, and no, it wound up being me, which is funny because it was never not a thing I could do, but I had no problem doing it. Some of the chicks were like, "Can I give you a fake one?" I'm like, "Sure, it doesn't matter. I have no expectation that you're gonna let me call you. So just put, 9999 on there, and let's get my homeboy here his reward." So I remember we were getting a pretty shit can. I had the napkin. It was a napkin, bar napkin, just completely caked with names and numbers. And I was ready to cash out early. And when I say early, I mean 1:45. I was like, you know what? I drank a lot of liquor. I want to go home and get some food and some extracurriculars, and I'll go fire up a pizza or something. I'm out. You guys meet me at the house. So I go home, whatever, set up pizza, and I'm thinking, yeah, it's taking a while. Why is it taking them so long? It's 8-block walk. They leave 15 minutes after me. They should be here, 15 minutes after I got, right? Well, Mule Rider comes stumbling in the front door, and he's got snow all over him, and he says, "I fell down in a snowbank, and I didn't think I could get out." So the reason he took so long was that he fell down, and he literally became the turtle on his back trying to get out of a snowbank, and had to rock himself until he finally got up and out of the snowbank, and at which point he was determined to, and I quote, "Have me some fun." This is what he did. He proceeded to walk around the entirety of the house with one stern, absolutely certain finger declaring, "Hey, I'm gonna have me some fun." So he walked towards my room. There's a little hallway. Not a hallway, much of a little area where they split. My room to the right, his room to the left, bathroom straight ahead. My room had a little walkway. He proceeded to fall sideways into that walkway, lay on the floor, which was not quite, the little hallway was not quite long enough. His head was in my room and his feet were in the hallway, but he was going to have him some fun. So he gets up. I think he made it back out to the living room, still declaring his intention to have himself some fun. He ends up falling down between the couch and the table, still declaring his intention for merriment. And then I think he used the table to get up. And I've got pictures of all this back from when, there wasn't phone cameras. So to take pictures of something was a big deal. I've got they're actually right over here. Fuck me running. Do I have them? That would be amazing. But yeah, so I've got pictures of the whole thing, and he's telling me, our buddy Dave was somehow, I don't know how Dave took longer, because Dave was more sober than him, but Dave, oh man, there we go, Oktoberfest parties. I'm going to have to bust these out. This is beautiful. I actually have the house, the yellow ugly house in question. So Dave, after I had left, shortly before 2, Dave bought him a shot, and he said, "I went to take the shot, and I knocked it over, and I spilled it. And when I touched it, it burned my hand." So, I guess your lesson there is either if you spill a drink and it burns your flesh, don't drink it, or have you some fun while you can still have you some fun. I think I like that. Well, you can use them both, actually. They're not mutually exclusive. You cannot drink the thing that burns your flesh and still have you some fun. Apparently what Dave had bought him a shot of 151, and only through the Mule Rider's clumsiness did he probably not die in a snowbank like a turtle on its back. It's just... Man, I was hoping to be wrapped up with Main Street, but it's looking like I've got probably 2 more episodes of the shenanigans from this place, and they're only going to get crazier and crazier. The lessons will become more and more important, but the important thing now is I'm not supposed to leave any drinks behind, so I'm going to have to polish off this horrible coffee black and tan monstrosity that I've constructed and get up on it. So for Drinks with Ron, I'm Ron, signing off. Finger guns.